And if you happen to have your loved ones and your senior loved ones, especially around you all the time, then you have the opportunity usually to see if there are any changes that you need to be concerned with. But if you only see some of those types of relatives, family members, friends at a certain time of year, you might want to just keep an eye out, especially as our parents, grandparents, friends, loved ones, spouses age. Things do change, and we always want to just keep an eye out because they're not always recognizing the changes as they're going along. Here with me, president and owner of Comfort Keepers In-Home Care, also host of the KHTS show Aging with Power, Myles McNamara. Good morning.
Good morning, George.
I think out of all the years, I mean, we've kind of passed each other every now and then, but we've never actually had a chit chat and a sit down. So this is very exciting.
Very cool.
And now, we've got an in-law, my mother-in-law. We moved her out here to be close to us, so it's pretty easy to keep an eye on her all the time. She'll be 84 in December, and my wife gets her to the doctor's appointments and things like that. But we don't always have that luxury with our loved ones, especially if we've moved away and they live in a different part of the country, and either we're going to visit them or they're coming to visit us.
Right.
And it's a situation that, as what I found, as we get older, we're not always as in tune and aware of our own changes, either mentally or physically. So this is a good opportunity as the holidays come around to kind of eyeball and just see some of the changes and see if there's something we need to concern ourselves with, right?
Absolutely. And your setup was brilliant, George. I mean, it's basically, Thanksgiving ranks as the highest time of year that we see our parents or grandparents maybe one time a year. And so and it kind of works both ways. Like you were saying, you and your wife are here all the time. Sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees and we don't recognize some little changes versus if we're going to see mom or dad or grandparents during the holidays, and then we can see some significant changes because we've just spoken with them on the phone throughout the year and that type of stuff. But basically it's sort of like using your five senses, your sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and just observe. Be Sherlock Holmes for the weekend or the week or whenever you're there. I mean, give mom a nice hug and see if she feels like thin and bony and maybe she's not eating well. And sight, just look around and observe. How does the house look? Take a look in the refrigerator. Is the food spoiled? Is there nothing in the refrigerator? Does mom or dad look kind of unkempt? They were really proud of their appearance in the past, but now for some reason, their hygiene slipping a little bit. You notice some bills and mail stacked up on the table. And so if you just observe, and one thing I want to preface too is and I'm sure you've seen this when you're with mom throughout the year and then someone comes and then they're like a bull in a china shop. Be respectful, and also, not only to your siblings who may be caring for mom or dad throughout the year, but to mom and dad or the grandparents as well. Dignity, respect, just observe, make some minor notes. Because when we talk to our parents on the phone, it's like we need to pay attention to how are they calling people by name? Are they just asking about the weather? I mean, is it getting very kind of superficial conversations? Might there be some cognitive issues starting to develop? And as far as smell, are they bathing properly? I mean, maybe their body odor is a little different. So, I mean, just as I said, be Sherlock Holmes, observe the situation. If you have a chance, if mom or dad are still driving, allow them to drive. Go on an errand with them. Go to the store and say, Mom, you drive. Dad, you drive. Because it's so tough because as our parents, and more times than not, they're our heroes, and they begin to age. And when that pendulum comes where you may have to start parenting your parents, gosh, I can't stress as far as being, with dignity, with respect, and understand that they're a proud, independent generation, and so don't come in like that bull in the china shop and say, you give me your car keys, Dad, or, because I think about, and I hope I'm still a hero at some level to my daughters. And I know this is going to happen to all of us, And so I think down the road, and being in the business for almost 15 years, I understand that I'm going to be there someday too. And my daughters are going to be in the position of saying, Dad, what are you doing? And maybe giving me some input. So again, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, maybe taste their food when they cook it,
You mentioned that's a good point, Myles, about respect and dignity, and when my in-laws, when my father-in-law was still around and we started kind of having concern, they used to live in an upstairs place. And one of my other in-laws like, no, we just have to tell them they have to move. And it's like, you have to kind of approach this and make them think that it's their idea.
Absolutely.
And still be respectful, because they are very proud and they don't want that level of control taken away from them, because that will raise their stress level too, to a level that causes even more problems and can cause health issues as well.
Right. And as we notice the safety issues and things that we can just make suggestions, and you hit the nail on the head again, is have the discussion that, that they understand and it's their idea. But at some point, George, there's going to be a time where we can't allow them to make that decision anymore. But again, we have to handle that with dignity and respect. But we all look in the mirror and say, well, I feel 20 still, but imagine someone walking up to you and say, George, give me your car keys. I don't believe you can drive anymore.
Exactly.
And you're like, WTF, and so that takes your independence away. That takes your ability to be independent. And so I can't strive enough to just be respectful. And as I said, you may be the person that's being visited by family members for the first time in a year, or you may be the person going to visit for the first time in a year. So look at both sides of that coin and treat people with respect and dignity.
And of course, as they begin, you see that Comfort Keepers, of course, in-home care is there to kind of provide that buffer from you trying to have to do everything yourself to you can bring people out to help with some
right. And as far as our
activities
caregivers
of daily living,
we try to allow the adult children to be the adult children rather than the caregivers. So we can come in and anything that doesn't take a medical license to do with the activities of daily living, we can make sure that they're healthy, safe, well, hydrated, not having, nutrition issues, the whole 9 yards.
Very important. Myles McNamara, President, Comfort Keepers in-home care. And also your show is every other Wednesday.
It's the first Tuesday of the month.
First Tuesday of the month.
11 a.m.
Thank you. 11 a.m. Aging with Power. And it's a good opportunity to spend an entire hour with Myles and get a lot of really good updates about because we are all, even now as we speak, aging.